All right. Welcome, welcome. We are doing the 12-week year. All right. So if you want to grab the book, it is on Audible for super, super budget friendly. Or if you're like me, you can get the actual book. You can print out the first chapter or so is actually free to find online. It's like a PDF. There is also a free guide that you can print out from the website, like a game plan type deal. You can print that out. And anytime you are writing an action plan, I recommend to use pencil because life happens, right? Things change and shift with times and sometimes, and you go along through your action steps and eventually you might realize, okay, this is working, this is not working. I need to shift. You know what? I'm going to go a little bit of a different direction with this or that. And that's perfectly fine. The main important point to remember and focus on is you can know all of the things, but if you don't implement them, it doesn't matter. Okay. So that's what this is about. That's what these sessions are about. That's what this book is about. And that is why we are doing this, because I can say, like, oh, you should read this book. It's a great book. Cool. But will we actually implement it? Will we have the support, the encouragement, the mentorship, and the accountability to actually put it into action? That's why we're here. So one of the first quotes they had in the book that I love, 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 love is, if we did the things we are actually capable of, then we would astound ourselves, right? Because we are certainly capable and smart and intelligent, and we know a lot of things. And this is the age of information. We can find out almost anything we want to know by looking it up. But are we actually doing it? That is the question. So this book goes through, I'll just give you a quick overview of some of the things that it shares. If you do want to read it, great. You do not have to read the whole book. However, it's easy to listen on like Audible or something while you're doing other things, driving, dishes, folding laundry, whatever, any other things you might be doing. Unless you're someone who needs to take notes, then I encourage you to do that. Sometimes we do need to do that and we absorb information better that way. Okay, so first it goes through redefining how we think about our time, how we think about our year. Understanding that makes a big difference. A lot of times we think, this year I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And that's fine. However, think about all the times in your life when you had a deadline for something. How much more action did you put behind your aspirations, dreams, and visions when you had a deadline? A lot, right? Okay. So that's the beginning of this book. It's sharing about how it really makes a big, big difference when we have a deadline. So that's part of the plan that we're going to get to. We're going to use the second half of this that has a guide to it to create our plans. You're going to put deadlines on those plans. All right. And then the third one is sort of the vision and emotional connection, and making sure that you have a drive behind your goals and what you are working on. You have a passion behind it. If we are not passionate about it, if we're not excited about it, then it's going to be hard to implement those action steps. Not that you can't, but it's going to be a bit tougher. So you have to dig into what is your engine that's revving you behind why you're doing these goals. Is it making an impact for your family, for your future, for your children's future, for your career, for, making an impact in people's lives, for, ministry or some sort of outreach or anything like that, right? What is the reason why? So even as I'm talking here, you can begin to notate some of that down, write it down, take note of that for yourself. What are your big goals that you might normally think, I could do this in a year? And why are you passionate about that? Think about it. And a couple of questions, I wrote these down on, if you don't know what you're passionate about, or if you don't know what you want your goals to be, of course, you can think about your health, right? Your life. If you have a business or you want to start a business, you can think about those types of things. What is your passion? You can think about questions like, what makes you upset about the world? When someone's talking about XYZ, what gets your engines revving because something is unjust, right? Or something is not quite right. What are you passionate about? Perhaps your goal might be connected to that. And what would you want to make a stand for, right? So you can think about those things. There's more questions you can look up, I'm sure, and in the book, they actually have more things as well. and then they talk a little bit about kind of throwing out the annual plan, and you still have a big goal, but what you're doing is you're breaking that down, and they specifically have it into 3 smaller goals. And then you break those 3 smaller goals down into action steps with deadlines so that you have a finish line that you're running towards, right? I actually worked with someone on a project, and I said, okay, this is the goal. This is what we're trying to accomplish. How do you want to do that? What steps are we going to take to get there, right? And this person's mindset was not even a yearly goal mindset. So it really makes a big difference where your mind is at. And this person said, well, what if it doesn't matter when we get there? And I was like, well, then there's no like finish line. You have to be going towards something, right? There has to be a bar that's set or a finish line. Do you always get there when you want to? No, and that's okay. And you accept that. That's all right. That's normal. But you have to be going towards something. Are you climbing a mountain? Are you crossing a finish line? What is that you are setting? And that's what it talks about with the shifting from the annual to the 12-week perspective, and then 1 week at a time. And the way they have it, especially if you're using the guide, the game plan, or you can use your own planner to do it as well. You just kind of write out and structure it out. You will be focusing on 1 week at a time. So you have it, where is it here? Don't know which page. You will have it written out for like one of the goals and your action steps, and then you're going to translate that to 1 week. Okay, what is it going to take to accomplish that action step during this week? What things do I need to do this week? And then you're going to shift to the next week and the next week. There is and I believe it's free. I haven't used it yet, so I will look into this and we can talk more about it next time. I believe it's called Trolley, and you can make a digital version of basically this, and you can create your own. You put in what your goals are, and then you tell it that you want weekly action steps, and you can customize, and then you can break that down into to-do lists and things like that for each day and each week. Like I said, I'm going to look more into the details of it and all of that, but you can use a digital version if you prefer. I like handwritten. I have a planner. That's what I do, but you can do it however you like. The 6th one they go into in the book is just kind of confronting the truth of that you need to have measurements. You need to measure what you're doing. Otherwise, you don't know how far you've gone. You don't know how much further you need to go, all that kind of thing. And then they go into talking about accountability, taking ownership of your actions or inactions or whatever it might be. And then they have interest versus commitment, just basically talking about commitment and greatness in the moment, and your keeping momentum moving forward. The 11th chapter is also intentional balance. And what I like about a 12-week plan is you get to structure it how you need to for accountability and kind of rewarding yourself. So you can create this 12-week plan for whatever goal it is and create for yourself like an incentive. Like, if I achieve this in the 12 weeks, I get to go on this 10-day vacation, or, fill in the blank, or go, whatever it is, get a pedicure. I don't know, anything, whatever it is that you want to do to create a fun thing that you get to do. And at that 12-week point, whether or not you've accomplished 100% of it, you can set yourself a standard. If I accomplish 80 to 100% or 90 to 100% of this, I get to da 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 da. If I accomplish 100% of it, I get to do something even more exciting, right? And the reality is, a lot of times these goals might be something that's going to allow you to have the time freedom or monetary freedom to maybe go on a vacation or do more things. So you can decide and you can gauge, if it's more health oriented, that's phenomenal. And you get to go, clothes shopping for some new stuff if you achieve your health goal, or, whatever it is for you that is exciting and fun. All right. So I want to share a couple more insights from the beginning of this book. And also, if you are new and you haven't met me before, I didn't really introduce myself. I apologize. So I know a lot of people who are in this group already know me, but if you are new, hello, I am Miriam. I'm a holistic therapist. I come from a background in healthcare. So I actually worked in healthcare about 12 years in orthopedics, rehab therapy, and in pediatrics. And then the past 7 years, I kind of went a little bit of a different direction to do holistic healthcare. So now I have my own private practice and I create holistic care plans with my clients and patients to empower them in mental, physical, and emotional well-being, shifting daily habits, mindset, stress management, sleep support, as well as things like gut health to help improve function and more joy, more peace every single day as you go through your daily routines. I have some in-person clients that I also see for therapeutic massage and like the more orthopedic and things like that. But that's what I love to do. I'm also a mama. I have 3 little ones and an amazing husband as well. Life is busy and full. And I love doing things like this where I get to come alongside people in their journey of not only being successful, but feeling good while doing it, being healthy and well, mentally, physically, and emotionally, while also being successful in your life and your goals. So I love this. And this book is really awesome. So whenever you do see this, or you guys here who are here, go ahead and share with me what is one thing that comes to mind when you think of a big goal that you would like to accomplish. Share that here. And we will, like I said at the end, we're going to start the beginning of setting a couple of our goals and beginning the process of creating our 12-week plan. So just a couple more things from the book. Your goal is to become your optimal self. That's really the goal of why we're doing this, right? And so you might have different goals each 12 weeks that you decide to do this, and you may take a break in between each 12-week segment. Another, like I've gone to other business trainings and things, a lot of times they'll call it a 90-day run too. And those of you who are runners or athletes, you might like that name for it too, because you are setting, a bar, you are setting a finish line, and you want to remember that knowledge is powerful only when you use it, right? We kind of talked about it in the beginning. You're taking short sprints, and then you can take a little break. You're just being intentional with how you do that. And that's like in that one section, it talks about balance. That's how you create balance. Because if you just did 12-week runs all the time, yeah, you would be exhausted, right? You can't do it all the time. So you create intentional breaks for family, for other things. And even during these 12 weeks, you're still structuring it so you're not 24/7 working on these action steps. You still have your time that you're blocking out, and they actually talk about how to block your time as well. So, and we talked about deadlines. You're creating deadlines. You're creating a specific date that you want to finish that action step by. And you always are keeping in mind that your thinking creates your actions, and those actions create your results. So if you're constantly thinking, I'm exhausted, I'm this, I'm that, whatever, what is that going to create? Is that going to create action? Probably not. Okay. And we just have to be honest with ourselves. Okay. We're all human. Yes, sometimes we are tired. I'm right there with you. Mama that doesn't get a lot of sleep sometimes, right? And we create those days. We block out time in our schedules where we take care of ourselves and where we rest. We have a rest day. I've actually seen some people that every single month they take a rest week out of the month. So you decide for yourself, is it going to be a few days? Is it going to be 1 day a week? What is it going to be? And during that week, I've seen people do that. You can call it whatever, a flex week, whatever. It's not that they don't do anything, but during that time, it's family things, fun things, self-care things, rest, and very minimal to no like work-related type stuff. So that might be something to think about. Maybe for you, it would be 3 days, or 4, or whatever that looks like. And you block that out. You don't go to birthday parties. There's certain things that you just don't do during that week because you need to refresh and rejuvenate, right? And a lot of people, it's 1 day a week, which is what I do because of the way my schedule is. But you can decide for yourself. I love these goals. Awesome. Home organization, business goals, health goals. Awesome. Yeah, so you can start thinking about it, start brainstorming, and think about what is driving those goals, what passion, what purpose is behind that. Yay. Okay. They're 3 days a week. Yes. 3 days a week to rest. That'd be great. And sometimes, your first 12 weeks, you're working on things that are going to make more time freedom so that you can have more days a week for rest or family. And then I love that within that first chapter, they actually talked about sometimes the important actions are the uncomfortable ones. The uncomfortable things that push us out of our comfort zone are often the things that will propel us towards our purpose and our goals. All right. I want to make sure we get into our 12-week goals, our 12-week year, if you will. Yes. And I want you guys to actually think about that for just a quick second. What are the top 3 things that have been holding you back from running towards the goals that you have? Think about that. And then I want you to either write them down and cross them out, right? Or if you can't write down things right now, think about what they are and intentionally say no to that excuse or that reason. I mean, not that it's not a valid reason. It might be a valid reason. That's okay. But you're going to intentionally say no to that reason why that's been holding you back. And you're going to replace it with something else that's more helpful. So if you're writing, I'll give you a second. Some things that I used to commonly allow to hold me back is I don't have time. Guess what? We do have time. It's just, what are we doing with that time? Are we watching Netflix? Be honest with yourself, right? Are we spending that time? We need family time, so it's okay if you have your family time, but scrolling, the internet or shopping, maybe, there's time somewhere usually. Some people I know, they maybe spent a lot of time in the bathroom with their showers or their whatever extra time, right? You'd be surprised. And I was looking at, there was a business training I listened to a little while back. And this lady, she works full time, she has kids, all of the things. And she was saying, listen, I'm going to show you. And she went to her calendar and she showed how she could find 15 minutes here, 30 minutes here in her schedule to work on some goals that she had, some things that she wanted to do. And by the end of the day, it added up to 2 hours a day that she could spend on that goal that she wanted to achieve. It was just in small chunks, okay, 15 minutes in the morning, after I drop my kids off at school or whatever, or when I'm waiting in the pickup line to pick up my kids, or, all these little bits and pieces during a lunch break, taking 15 minutes or 10 minutes, those kinds of things. And I will tell you, sometimes you have to set a timer. Again, don't we do better when we have a deadline? I only have 10 minutes on this clock. I better focus and get this done, right? Sometimes we have to do that. That's okay. Set yourself a timer. That is okay. We need it sometimes. Or tell, a coworker or family member, wherever you are, say, hey, I need to work on this for 15 minutes. Can you help take care of the kids so I can work on this for 15 minutes? Step away, go sit in your car if you have to, go to a coffee shop down the street, or sit in a closet. I don't know, whatever we need to do, right? To work on these things. If it's working out, obviously you might go somewhere where you can work out, right? I truly believe, and this is one of the things that I teach when I work with my clients on shifting habits and changing habits and mindset and things, you can do a lot in 5 to 10 minute blocks throughout your day. You can do a lot more than you might think. And actually, I was just reading a recent study that came out that shows if you spend 18 minutes a day on something, 18 minutes, you can master a new skill. You bet that means you can accomplish a goal, right? 18 minutes a day. We definitely spend that much time like staring at our phone or watching a TV, right? Most people, 99% of people. Sometimes it means not all the laundry is going to be folded and put it away. If you do that, by the way, I'm going to have to hire you to come to my house to make sure all my laundry is folded and put it away. Okay. It might mean maybe we don't do all the dishes every single day, but you have to weigh your priorities. Is it more important that your house is like perfectly perfect all the time, which I don't know how many people that it is anyways, that's not common. Or is this goal that you want to work on more important than that, right? It doesn't mean you never do those things. It just means you prioritize certain blocks of your time, your day, and your week to focus on what's really, really important. All right. That's right. In 100 days, just 18 minutes a day. Okay. Sorry, I think I might have misread it or remembered it wrong. Just 100 days. That's not even a year. Oh my gosh. So you could master 3 things in a year with 18 minutes a day.
18 minutes a day. They said if you did it for 100 days straight, you would be considered an expert. Now, you might not know everything, but you would be considered someone who knows enough to be considered an expert in that particular area, which was crazy because, right, that would be almost 3 new skills you've learned that year or whatever it is.
Yes. While you're here for a quick second, Allison, I know you've been reading the book. Anything that that really like jumped out at you that you'd like to share super quick?
One thing that, and it's even in a gray box, and it was interesting when I opened it, I was like, oh my gosh, they even have highlighted, because I was listening on Audible earlier and then I got home and the book was at my doorstep. But you know, you always hear it's not what you know, it's who you know. You've heard that a lot in life. And one of the things that he said, it's not what you know and it's not even who you know, but it's what you implement that counts. And it's the thing I feel like for me personally that has been holding me back a whole lot is just the implementation. Like, I know the things, I have the skills, I have the tools. Why am I not able to carve out a way or find a system to implement the things that I know? And that I just like am ecstatic over this book. I'm so excited. Like, I'm like, can I just know it all now? Like, hold it on my head. Osmosis.
Yes. It's about putting it into practice, right? It's about habits. So start with that 18 minutes a day, you know, especially if it's something new to you, to work on something outside of your regular routine that you already have. Just start small, 10 minutes a day, or maybe 18 minutes a day, whatever you feel like you can do. It will make a difference if you are intentional about that time and you really focus. Okay, I want to start. We will discuss more next time. I'll share more insights from the chapters, and those who have read or listened to it might share a couple of insights as well. But I want to focus on focus on the action steps, because that's why we're here. That's what the goal is. Okay. So you already started by thinking about those things that hold you back, cross them off, intentionally say no to those reasons that have held you back before, and say no because fill in the blank. I will make the time. I will be intentional. I will create better habits. I will take the action steps that I need to, right? You will replace those reasons that have held you back with something helpful. And there's actually some great ideas in the book too, as you go through. They go through, these are the criteria of your first. You're going to start with 3 bigger goals. So these would be goals that you might normally think you need an entire year to accomplish. I want you to think about 3 bigger goals. Within those 3 bigger goals, we're going to break that down into smaller things. So just start with the 3 bigger ones. These are the criteria. There are 5 criteria you want to think about when you are writing these down. They want to be specific and measurable. So not just like, I want to become a millionaire. Okay, cool. But you need to have it something more like, I want to earn X amount of income monthly or yearly, right? And that's measurable, specific and measurable. Okay. You want to state it positively. So even within what I said, that can be adjusted a little bit. I said, I want to, you're going to say, I will, instead of I want to. Instead of saying, I would like to, or whatever, you're going to say, I will. Da, 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 da. You're going to put confidence into it. You're going to put belief into it as you even write it down or think about it. And I love sticky notes. Anybody who knows me knows I love sticky notes. So put them up around, write these things down, put them where you can see them, in your car, on your desk, anywhere, your fridge, whatever, on your mirror, near where you brush your teeth. Put them around because you're going to be thinking about those things. What is it? Our thoughts create our actions, and that creates our results. Let me see if I can do I haven't really used the whiteboard yet, but maybe I can try. Let's see if I can use a whiteboard real quick. We're just gonna have a little fun for a quick second here. Let's see what I can do. Okay, here we go. What shape should we do? Circle? Oh wait, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do you. We're gonna do a person, stick figure. Here we go. Terrible drawing with this. Legs, arms. Woo! Long arms. Oh, terrible drawing. Okay, ready? You, right? Your thoughts. Your thoughts. There's probably a better way to write, but that's okay. Thoughts. That creates your actions. We're just going to put an A for actions. We'll put an A plus because you're going to have super awesome actions, right? Your thoughts create your actions. That will create your results. Results. Okay, you can make it whatever you want it to be. You can do 3 circles. You can do 3 squares. Results. You can have fun with it. And this is something that, like, if you're someone who's creative, you can make a fun little picture you can print out or write, put up somewhere as a reminder. Your thoughts create your actions, create your results. Okay. All right. That was just for fun. Okay. So, and then with these goals that you're writing down, you're going to create that. I will, da, 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 da. Okay. All right. The 5 criteria, I think we finished. We were on 2, state them positively. 3, ensure they are realistic. Okay. You don't want it to be like, I'm going to the moon, because maybe that's not, I mean, not unless you're an astronaut, then that might be realistic. But if you're not an astronaut, maybe not. Assign accountability. That's what this is right here. So I encourage you guys, if you know each other, please connect and create times to talk on the phone weekly to connect and have more accountability. Hey, how's it going? With da, 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 da. And next, like when you guys are creating your deadlines, we're going to do that next week. We're going to create deadlines. I'm going to write those down, and we are going to, after the main portion of the discussion, we will check in. How's it going with this deadline? How's it going with this action step? How's it going with this action step? Because, right, when you have a deadline, you're more likely to put action behind it. And I don't know about you, but if I know I'm meeting with someone that's going to ask me if I did that thing that I was going to do last week, and I know we're meeting next week, I'm going to make sure I get it done. It might be the day before. It might be the night before, but I'm going to get it done, right? That's what this is. That's what we are doing. Okay. So you have your 3 primary, like bigger goals. The 5th criteria is just making it time bound, which was kind of in the first one anyways. Okay. And then within those, you have, and you can write like 3 boxes. There's box for your first big goal, and then a box for your second one, and then a box for your third one, or you can print the thing out. I will try and send you guys, I'll make sure I send you guys the link for it. I will find where the game plan guide is so you can print that out. I did find, I'm going to share my screen super quick here. I did find you on Google Images, you can see, you can actually print something out from there too. They have a couple of the things in there. So this is from one of the pages in the book. This is a great little diagram that you guys can see here as well. And then see which way do I go? And then here you can see, this is your weekly scorecard. Again, this is from the book, but you can print this out. I did find these on Google Images. What page is that? That is, oh, let me pull it up. I don't know if it said it on there. Page 14, it looks like. So that, is it in that first chapter or is it second chapter?
No, I meant the page that you held up in your book where you had written, or was that this that you printed out?
This is the one I printed out. Yeah, this one. I think that's what you were asking, right? Okay, here is the website, and I will put it in the chat as well. This is the website where you can find the action plan and more resources. So it is I'll put it in here. www.12weekyear.com/getting started. That's it. And it's free, it says. So you should be able to access this resource, printable resource, and they said there's a bunch of other things on time blocking and all kinds of great resources. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys those images super quick so you can see that you can access those if you need help finding things, reach out whenever you see this or on the next session that we have. And then you should be able to find a lot of those things on the website I just shared. So, okay. And then you are going to work on those 3, and here you can see the boxes, like you just have a box with goal 1 at the top, and then you have a few lines to write out what are the first 5 action steps that you think would be needed to create that. And then it does say to put a week that you want it to be due, so you can put your deadlines. We will dig more into that next week because I want to, on our next session, I want to dig into examples. Like if there's a goal on like a health related goal, what would be an example of 5 action steps that would help make that happen? And then within those 5 action steps, you are going to break it down into a weekly to-do list. That is the goal. Okay. So we don't have time to do all of that today. We're already almost out of time. So I'm going to wrap up, but any quick questions before we close out here? And I stop the recording. Anything else? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop the recording and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.